Hey Facebook, Michelle Kramer here, coming to you live, your Live Abundantly life and health coach. Do you like my dinosaur necklace? I just have to say, every cool boy mom has a dinosaur skeleton necklace. I'm going to my youngest's kindergarten class to volunteer today, presuming this will be a big hit. Just like, I'm gonna wear it for my live video today. Okay. So today I'm gonna finish up our series on trusting God more. And I wanted to touch on when things don't look the way you expected, when it's not what you expected it to be. We previously talked about trusting God does not have to be a grand gesture, that you squint your eyes and you hand it over despite your fears and your worries, that God doesn't expect you to have a heart that is fully let go of that situation. God expects you to be honest with Him and to tell Him how you feel and trust Him despite those human feelings, human emotions. And then yesterday we talked about don't try and figure out everything on your own because you don't know what's going to happen. And I kind of wanted to expand upon that today when it doesn't look like what you expected. Yesterday I posted a video of Lauren Daigle's song, Trust in You. And I'm sure most of you have heard it by now if you listen to Christian music in any way, shape, or form, because it is pretty popular. But it says in the chorus, when you don't move the mountains, I'm needing you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk through. When I don't have the answers as I cry out to you, I will trust in you. And that is kind of what I want to touch on today, when it's not what you expected. See, that's the thing, is some people will have a hard time trusting God because anytime they have in the past, God has done something they didn't expect. As many of you know, I have a nonprofit organization that we do pictures for families that have a terminally ill child or who have lost a child at birth. And that's a struggle for a lot of the families. I've been doing bereavement photography for 10 years, and so I have a lot of experience helping people grieve and go through that process. And that's a struggle for a lot of those families is, how do I trust God? Like, He took my child away, or my child is sicker than I could ever imagine. How do I trust Him? And you'll find families who do trust Him despite it, but a lot of them struggle with that question because they don't understand. They don't see things the way that God does. It doesn't look the way they expected. That's not what any of us as parents expect to happen to our child. We have these expectations of healthy and happy and whole, and at least that's definitely a hope. And when something like that happens, it's really hard to trust God. So you may be watching these videos and the last few times you're like, yeah, Michelle, whatever, I'm dealing with something major here, and trusting God seems impossible. And I think it's because we set expectations on Him, we humanize Him, and we put Him in a box, and we expect how He's going to resolve a situation to look how we would resolve it. We expect Him to move a mountain, but we want Him to move it. We feel like we need it moved, but God knows that that's not what we need. When we cry out and He doesn't give us any answers, it's because it's not time for those answers. And even when something tragic happens, while it is a tragedy, God is going to, as always, work it for His glory. I know that a lot of people in tragic situations hear, well, God has a plan. And yeah, that's true. That's reality. It's hard to hear it. I don't ever say it to people who are grieving because that's not what they need to hear. What they do need to hear is that they are loved and that God loves them. Sorry, my dog is distracting me. Why is it that my animals are always distracting me? Probably because we have a farm. We have a lot of animals in the city, a city farm, in the house. Anyway, so my point being that when it comes to trusting God, it is, again, no grand gesture. You don't have to have your heart completely let go. You do need to give up control of the situation. You do need to, despite what you're feeling, hand it over to God. You do need to stop being His secretary and trying to take care of the little things for Him. You need to relinquish control and trust, because you know who God is, because he is never changing. He is always the same. Trust that he loves you and he cares for you and that he is going to work it all out for his glory. And even if you don't see it on this side of life, it's kind of like Moses and the Israelites in the desert. 40 years Moses walked with them, and then he handed the reins over to Joshua and passed, and Joshua took them to the promised land. So Moses didn't see it, but the legacy was there, and he trusted God and knew that God would follow through with what he promised, even if he didn't get to see it in his life. So I just want to encourage you, if you're attempting to trust God in a situation, don't wait for your mind to be ready to trust him. Go ahead and do it anyway. Take that leap. Pass it on. Don't expect yourself to be free of worry and concern for the situation, but just lay it at his feet. And then get people to pray with you. If you need somebody to pray with you about a particular situation, I am here to do that. I'm happy to do that. Message me, comment below for anybody that's watching so you've got multiple people praying. And if you feel that there was value in this, please share this video so that other people can hear this message that God is trying to share with them. I recommend, of course, that you go back and look at the other videos because there's some good stuff there. God gave me some good words, and I really do go after his leading with these videos, and pray before I post them and everything. So I really feel like this topic this week was from him. So I hope that it's blessed you and touched you in some way, and please message me if it has, so that I know that this is working, that God is able to use me to reach others. So probably going to be it for this week on our series. I do have a fun video for tomorrow planned with my boys, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, you guys have a great weekend, and if you're in Missouri, enjoy this beautiful weather. It's an amazing week this week. Thanks.